Hey everybody, we're going to talk comma splices, run-ons, fragments. This time I thought I would get it in the other essay, but I'm going to get it in this one, the other video recording. Everybody, let's do a little dance here. Let's get in on this. And comma splices, run-on sentences are going to be our first play. Then we'll look a little bit at fragments as well. A comma splice occurs when a comma separates two complete sentences. You got a complete sentence on both sides, and yet you jammed a comma in there when you really need a period or a semicolon. Comma splice is not a common error. It just occurs, a run-on, excuse me, occurs when two complete sentences are fused, and there's no punctuation, right? So one, we tried with a comma. Two, we didn't even get the comma there. Both are jamming in independent clauses together and trying to make a mash, all right? Comma splice run-on are when two sentence level errors. All right, these are the most important. Why am I concentrating on these? If you get these in there, it's a bit of a doozer. Sometimes you have profs that will just knock it down a half grade almost automatically when they see more than one. Usually it's two is when you start hitting problems. Comma splice results when two independent clauses are joined solely by a comma. Again, I admired Wonder Woman, comma, for a long time she was my hero. Problem here, right? We've got two clauses. Well, the clause is dependent. For a long time, she was my hero, but the comma's not doing it alone, right? We do have technically two independent clauses, even as the second one seems to sneak in. You think it's a dependent. I admired Wonder Woman, period. For a long time, she was my hero, period. Yeah, it's tough sometimes because it does feel like they could flow together real easily with just the comma. What we do to get ourselves out of the woods when we're not sure is we simply see if we say it separately whether we think it could stand as a subject, as a sentence. So what makes a sentence? A subject, verb, predicate. I admired the verb, right? Wonder Woman is our predicate, or in this case, the object, right? Period. And object is just so horrible. The English language is weird, and even in this case, it accentuates it, right? A woman is not an object, folks. I admired, subject, admired, I like to say other subject or predicate, Wonder Woman, period. All right? For a long time, she was my hero. So we have a prepositional clause leading that particular sentence for a long time. And we really have, if you will, the hidden subject predicate there at the tail end of it. She, subject, was, verb, my hero, predicate. All right? That's what fools you a little bit. But if you say it out loud, you can quickly see or feel that that's a complete sentence. Is it a complete idea? For a long time, she was my hero. Do I need any other information? Does that make total sense to you? Yeah. Another way to find out if you have a full sentence is just to put a question mark on it and actually say it with the inflection of making it a question. I admired Wonder Woman. I admired Wonder Woman. Yes. If you can say, yes, you did, or no, you didn't. In other words, you put a question mark on the end of that clause. Hear me out one more time. I admired Wonder Woman. I admired Wonder Woman. Yes, you did. Okay. For a long time, she was my hero. Yes, she was your hero for a long time. Or no. If I can answer when I put a question mark on the end of each clause that I suspect to be a sentence or a fragment, I'm going to know, right? I'm going to know whether or not it is a comma splice or not. We'll look at this in the next example. All right. A run-on is a long sentence. The run-on comma splices can be two short sentences. They're fused. They're without any punctuation conjunction. All right, again, very close to the comma splice without the comma. We're jamming two independent clauses. I admired Wonder Woman for a long time. She was my hero. Whoops, jammed it all together, right? All right, a period, semicolon usually gets you the boundaries. Conjunctions also can help get those two sentences now separated and or connected in the right way. So let's look at the examples. I admired Wonder Woman, period. For a long time, she was my hero. Totally great. I admired Wonder Woman, semicolon. For a long time, she was my hero. Semicolon simply does what? It says, hey, these two are connected a little bit more than just a period. A period says this is separate, and then this is separate. Then they're just kind of vaguely associated because they're just nudging up against each other, right? Because it's this sentence and this sentence, and there's a long period. Look at my visuals. I'm kind of weird, guys, but that's me talking with my hands. All right. Semi says, hey, I'm going to pull on that other idea. I admired Wonder Woman for a long time. She was my hero. All right, getting a little weird here. I admired Wonder Woman, and for a long time she was my hero. We got a comma in front of it, and it's technically what's called a Oxford comma. Some people would even kind of push back. This is the University of West Florida here with their idea of a comma in front of an and. These days it's dropped. Shows you the language shifts. Grammar has to shift with the language and the usage. So I admired Wonder Woman. You don't necessarily need a comma here. And for a long time, she was my hero. You do need the and. All three work. Comma splice. Incorrect. This company has never printed novels. Textbooks are its principal publication. Well, we got two independent clauses here, folks, right? This company has never printed novels. No, it's never printed novels. Textbooks are its principal publication. Yes, textbooks are its principal publication. So I put questions on the end of both those that are independent clauses. They can stand alone. Therefore, I need a little more muster than a comma, and I certainly don't want to jam them together. Either one's wrong, so now what do I need? I need a period. I need a semicolon. I need a conjunction. One of the three. Think about the way you want it to work together, those two clauses, and that's how you pick whether a period, semicolon, or conjunction. So, correct, this company has never printed novels, semicolon, textbooks are its principal publication. I'm pulling on that idea forward. This company has never printed novels, textbooks are its principal publication. Allows a little bit more flow. Semicolon simply pulls it really quickly. And previous idea, pulling it onward. All right, we can also correct it by putting a conjunction. I'm just going to say off page here, it's not on the screen. This company has never printed novels because textbooks are its principal publication. All right, I'm looking at a relationship. Oftentimes conjunctions are a little bit more clear about the relationships than a semicolon. Semicolon is a little more artsy, if you will, pulling it forward. You could get away with the periods. It's probably a little more clunky in this case. This company has never printed novels, period. Textbooks are its principal publication. It's more matter of fact. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. Incorrect. Wearing a seatbelt is not just a good idea. It's the law. Whoops. See this? Look how subtle that is. It sounds right. It's kind of okay, isn't it, Dr. Samanagin? I got to go technical. No, it's not. I'm doing academic, guys. You might get away with this texting, but it's not going to work in essays. All right, so correct, wearing a seatbelt is not just a good idea, semicolon, it's the law. Notice how that, in that case, gets a little statement. It's a nice punch, right? Period's going to be a little too dramatic, so semicolon is still dramatic. It gives us that nice little punch, and it pulls on the previous concept over. All right. A conjunction wouldn't really work as well. Wearing a seatbelt is not just a good idea, and it's the law. Because it's the law. Yeah. Right? Semi is better. All right. Mrs. Webb listens to everyone's opinions, then she makes up her own mind. Semi is not enough because it's two different independent clauses, right? That's what's so tricky is those little prepositions are right in front of the subject. That fools us, right? Then she makes up her own mind as an independent clause, right? Mrs. Webb listens to everyone's opinion. Then she makes up her own mind. Technically, you get away with that, right? That's its own clause, its own independent clause. So Mrs. Webb listens to everyone's opinion, semicolon, then she makes up her own mind. Good. Next one, difficult puzzles first cause amazements and thought. Then they create a mood of frustration and anger. Again, that then can fool you. No comma, incorrect. Correct, on the bottom there, we see difficult puzzles first cause amazement and thought, semicolon, then they create a mood of frustration and anger. Not easy, but as you get the cadence, you see how this works. Look for whether or not you've got an independent clause on this side and this side of what is existing as punctuation. And then we need a conjunction, semicolon, or period. Run-ons, folks. Psychohistory, a relatively new type of study. It combines the inside, whoa, jamming, right? Jamming it all together, jamming. The psychohistory is a relatively new type of study. What do I need? Think about it. This is when you read your drafts out loud, you will find your run-ons for sure, and you'll probably find your fragments and comma splices as well, most of the time, yes. Right? Jamming it all together, not good. Psychotherapy is a relatively new type of study, semicolon. It combines the insights of psychology with the data of history. Pulls it out, pulls it along, connects it beautifully, boom, boom, boom. All right, you is a second person pronoun rarely used in the South. Most Southerners use y'all instead. I need a comma, I need a breath. Notice as I even say it. Look, you is a second person pronoun rarely used in the South. Most Southerners use y'all instead. I had to pause there. Need something else there. I can't jam it all together. I'm going to read it now without pausing. You as a second person pronoun rarely used in the South. Most Southerners use y'all instead. Oh, well, you jammed me too much. We automatically can hear the problem. Okay, good way to get after it. Guys, you can see the illustrations here. It's a little too much at this point, so you got the point, right? Look at the one on the bottom. Scan it real quick with me. I'll give you just a second. Howevers are other ways that we jam. Look at that word, however. Worthless, however. Correct. Let's look at the correct version. Some television shows are no doubt worthless, semicolon, however, comma, because the however kind of stands on its own little feet. It loves commas around it. And if we start a clause or a sentence with however, 90% of the time want to hook comma after that word. In this case, we got a semicolon in front of the word as well. Good, good, good. That is it. All right, that's that. Let's look at one thing here I want to just show and tell. Let's see, it's kind of fun. A practice quiz, grammar test. Let's go back here to get this thing done right. All right, I'm going to go to question 1 and 2. And you are going to work with me. Which sentence below is correct? Our town has 4 restaurants, only one is open at 7 a.m. Seems jammed, right? It's a run-on. Our town has 4 restaurants, only one is open at 7 a.m. They're 2 independent clauses, comma, ain't doing it. Our town has 4 restaurants, semicolon, only one, comma, is open at 7 a.m. Fools you again because it inserts an extra comma. This is the correct one. Our town has 4 restaurants, semicolon, let's pull on that idea. Only one is open at 7 a.m. Cool. Ta-da! And we submit our answer, and yes, correct, super, wonderful. Yes, I'm so smart. Yeah. Okay, here we go. I can always do my German accent with you, of course, as well. See, I can kind of play with my own background, yeah. So which sentence below is correct? Look through the window, you can see the mountain peaks in the distance. Yeah. If you look through the window, now this is more cool, if, right? Because it's one thing's variable on the other. If you look through the window, if you do it, what? You can see the mountain peaks. Look through the window, you can see the mountain peaks. Is jamming those 2 clauses together, folks. They're still running on. This ain't working up here. This one says if and then, right? The then is implied. You can see. So that's why it works. All right, all right, all right. I think we're good enough on this, folks. You can quiz all day long. I do suggest this quiz. This pro-profs quizzes I like. Just look for practice quiz, fragments, run-ons, and you are good. Excuse me, run-ons, comma, splices. Good, guys. That gets that. Again, fragments are when we have incomplete sentences. We'll talk about that another time. These 2 get us where we need to go. Have a good one.